Hey guys, Rhiden here with Grant, and we're gonna do the Act 2 farming tutorial. So here we go. You're gonna want to start at the quest. Let me see where this is. Not that one, not that one. City of Blood, and the quest is called Lair of the Witch. So select that quest, make sure it's on Inferno. Boom, yup, and hit start game. So, me and Grant have been talking. We're thinking that this video is probably going to be the popular one, as Act 2 seems to be the problem for a lot of people. Isn't that right, Mr. Grant?
Yep. It's a pain in the ass.
Yep, no one likes this act. I guess I'll go full MF gear. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah. Desert Act always sucks. It's just a
Yep.
fact.
The troll bugs, they'll get you every time.
And it has sewers. I mean, there's nothing good about this act, except, like, maybe a really cool boss fight, but it's also a really frustrating boss fight.
Yeah, yeah. I think this boss fight is, like, one of the worst. Anyway. Going to Road to Alcarnis, or however you say that. So basically, this is going to be a lot like the Jailer run. You're going to want to get 5 stacks, obviously, and you're going to want to kill Magda in the end with 5 stacks, hopefully, and that is going to reap you the benefits of some fat loot, hopefully. If not, looks like you're going to have to do this a few times, which is not fun. How many times do you think we did this?
I'd say probably around 50 easily.
Yeah, we did this a lot.
Easily.
Yep.
We were here for this was probably the one we farmed the longest because of how, I don't know, just the way it went, I guess. There's a treasure goblin right above the waypoint, by the way.
I always find treasure goblins here, like all the time, I feel like.
Yeah. Those of you that have never faced an Act 2 treasure goblin, it's like the most disappointing thing in your life because pretty much you're going to see it, you're going to chase it, and it's just going to like not even give a fuck and run away.
Treasure goblins in Inferno, I feel like they should have made them troll models because they're trolls. Like, let's be honest, you can't. You might get lucky and kill them, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Where is
the
it?
only way it's right above this thing. The only way we ever kill one is if we somehow get it bugged into a corner where it can't move and we can just unload.
Yeah. I feel like Blizzard should have put in a special animation for like the Inferno ones, where like when they go into the portal at the end, they just like give you the finger, just to add the rage that's already there. Let's see, nothing down here.
As normal, break everything, kill everything, like hit everything on your way because I mean you can find really good items even out of like barrels and stuff. I mean, every time you break something, it's a chance to get an item. So, especially if you're farming the.
Oh, your pet decided to attack it.
Yep. As you can see, he doesn't really care what we do to him. He's just running forever.
Look at him. Look at this little troll. He's just like, ha ha ha, you will never get this. Oh, and there's the portal. Where's the finger? Ha ha, screw you guys. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Stupid goblin.
Yeah, so there's not really much you can do. They can't be blinded, they can't be frozen, they can't really be anything in Inferno, so you pretty much have to either keep up with them or somehow catch them in a corner or against a wall and, like, make it so they can't move. If you can get them in a corner or against the wall, you have a pretty good chance of killing them, but otherwise it's really hard, especially with more people in the group. Maybe by yourself you can get lucky and get a big row of attacks off, but they're not easy to kill. Like that one had over 1 million life, and as you can see, was just running every direction possible. So if you have anything that's not a homing attack, it's pretty hard to do that much damage before they bounce.
Yeah. If I didn't have MF gear, he probably would have died. But fortunately, that's the sacrifice of wearing MF gear, I guess.
Yep.
The low deeps.
Okay. So for this act, what we do is we take that portal and then we immediately head to this area called the Stinging Winds. This area usually has about 2 or 3 elite packs, so you're not going to get all your stacks from this, but you're going to get a bunch of them. The bugs, if you've never been in Act 2 somehow, some way, are incredibly annoying in every way possible and are probably the least fun things to fight, especially if you're geared for this act. If you have the appropriate gear level, these are going to be incredibly frustrating for you because all they do is run around like douches. and you chase them, and then you run into bugs and take probably your entire life bar in damage.
Yep. So annoying.
Yep.
Most annoying mob possibly in the game. The troll bugs.
Again, this is made a little easier, obviously, our gear's over this, so I can basically just take entire lines of bugs to the face, and I can chase this little guy over wherever I want, and, I mean, even if he turns and shoots bugs at me, it's not a big deal. When we were farming this act, these, especially the bug elites, would take a long time because you're constantly avoiding their damage as
Wow.
well as trying to do damage to them. Um, so it's usually just a long, like drawn out battle, and eventually maybe you'll get one or two down, and then have to go back to town before the enrage timer kicks in. But I mean, once you get that one or two down, the next time you pull them, it's going to be a lot easier. Just because, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
it's definitely a good strat if you don't have the gear to just own the pack before they enrage. Just get one down. I mean, it makes the whole fight so much easier.
yep, yeah, it's not necessarily the most fun way to kill elites, but it's definitely the most effective, and you won't die as much because if you don't have the damage and you don't have the gear and you try to kill all three before going back to town, you're probably going to hit an enrage because that's just the nature of the way these things are. Is they don't die easily because of how shady they are, I
Yep.
guess.
They just move a lot. It's like, it's so hard to hit them with Nether Tentacle too. I mean, they're moving like so often that you have to kind of just spray your Nether Tentacles and hope and pray that it hits
um,
something.
yeah, I guess we can actually talk a little bit. For those that are new to this act or that are farming this at equal level, and really any thing, we didn't do this a lot on the first video, but we mentioned how our strategy kind of differs for stuff that we have to try to clear versus stuff that we're like just way ahead. These type of things right here, like you're seeing us stand in this like little doorway here, are a godsend. If you can get a group of mobs and pull them through this doorway, especially if you're in a duo like we are, if you can have the tanky character or like whichever character wants to do this run through, and then the DPS character can basically lay up a line of damage like that, you can see it right there. The mobs will chase the one that runs through the door and basically get hit by all that crap and take probably 500-600K in damage.
Yep. And for my
Um,
fellow demon hunters, when he does that, usually I lay up traps like this. So
mhm.
he's pulling them through, they're all getting slowed, and then I'm just laying down a line like this, and they take a lot of damage.
Yep.
Even when I didn't have crazy gear, they would take a lot of damage from that.
Yeah, and you can keep doing that over and over. I mean, once they get through to the other side, you can turn them around and go the other way, and you can keep doing that over and over. That is how we kill about. You'll see in Act 3. That's like how we kill pretty much every elite
Everything.
pack. Is try to find a hallway, a staircase, something that's narrow, and force the mobs into it so that they're forced to basically run into the damage instead of trying to chase them with the damage, which
Yep.
usually doesn't work out well.
If you take nothing away from these videos, take that away, because that'll help you.
Yep. And as a tankier class, or if for those of you that are doing what we're doing with a melee class and a ranged, as the melee class, it's super, I guess, helpful or super useful to remember that your main focus is basically just keeping the stuff off of the range guy. I mean, not to say that you're not going to do any damage as a monk or a barbarian, because you're going to do a decent amount, but being able to hold something in a doorway like that by standing in front of them, or standing on mobs and tanking them so that they don't run after him, is increasing our group damage by so much, because he can just sit there and cast instead of having to kite. And that's where having a duo group might be even better than solo as a demon hunter. I mean,
Yeah.
just
It
because,
it makes it a lot easier.
yeah, I mean, mobs have more health, but at the same time, you're not worried about kiting as nearly as much as you are by yourself, because you have, like, see right now, these mobs all want to kill me. They don't even care that he's there, which means he can just do whatever the heck he wants to these things, and nothing bad will happen. The only time that really doesn't work is if you have like mortar mobs or vortex mobs or some type of a fix that's really bad like that. But even then, I mean, holding them for the little bit of time that you can hold them will help. So you'll notice the more you do this too, that there's certain, I don't know, I guess you'd call them quests or events or layouts for this zone. We've basically learned most of these at this point. So there's one. This is the one, and this one will always have. If the map looks like that, it will always have that little yellow like shaman guy in the middle, who's not an elite pack but does drop blues. And then one of two or three dungeons can spawn, either the ruins, the collapsing vault. I think that actually might be the only two that can spawn here. And those are really good places if you're actually doing well in farming and want to get more loot for your run. You can go down into the ruins, clear all the way to the second level. If possible, you can even skip some mobs if you have to. But
Yeah, I would stay away from them though. If you're not geared, if you're struggling outside, I would not
yeah,
go in
yeah,
there.
yeah. This is basically for people that are on this act, getting ready to move to Act 3, but still either helping friends do this or possibly just trying to get that last bit of loot from this before you move on to Act 3.
Yeah, and I did notice when we were doing this for gear and everything, we did get better items in the dungeons. And that doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, run to the dungeons, guys, but you know, it's just something I noticed. I'm not gonna claim it's true or anything like that, but it's just something
Yeah.
to think about, I guess.
And I don't think we've ever successfully done the crumbling vault on Inferno just because it takes so long to kill an elite pack that usually that 3-minute timer's done before you kill the first elites.
It's rough.
But the ruins especially are a good place because if first off there's like probably four or five at least elite packs in there, which is 4 or 5 drop chances. And while your main goal is to get the Nephilim Valor to go to the boss, it never hurts killing more packs, especially if you can do it quickly and efficiently. But the biggest thing is that at the bottom of all those like 2-story dungeons on level 2 is a resplendent chest, which, as most people know, is like the big super treasure chest that drop 2 or 3 blues and possibly yellows, and those are really nice to get when you have full Nephilim Valor.
Do you want to go into the ruins? I mean, we could kind of show them real fast. If you
We
want.
might need to do it for stacks, honestly, because we only have.
Yeah.
You'll notice that sometimes, just depending on which layout you'll get out here, you'll either get like, if you can get 3 or 4 stacks out here, you're golden to just go to the Magda. But if you only get like 1 or 2, you're probably going to either have to go to a different desert, or you're going to have to go into the ruins or some other place where you can farm to get those other 2. In front of Magda, there's at very least 1 elite pack, and usually there's 2. So you'll aim for at very least 3 before you go in there.
Let me just repair real fast because
Okay.
for some reason I'm yellow. Yeah. And as you guys might have noticed, me and Grant are actually going to make a separate YouTube channel for these videos. So if you guys want to subscribe, tell your friends, all that cool stuff, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And for sure, we'll keep the videos coming as long as you guys keep watching.
Yep. And we're trying to take into account what people are asking for. People ask for an auction house guide, and we're going to do that as soon as we get a few of these farming guides up. And people have asked for Rhyden's gear and spec, and my gear and spec and everything. And Rhiden already has a video up for his, and I'm currently in the process of making one for mine. So I mean, if you guys keep asking for reasonable things like that, we have no problem providing, because game's kind of beat for us, so we're just kind of here to farm and help out when we can.
Yep.
So keep asking, keep sending us stuff, and we're going to try to fulfill as many as we can.
Yep. The other thing is, if you guys want to friend me, that is totally cool. I am totally willing to friend everyone. I will answer questions, but if you're gonna like friend me and ask me, a million item questions, just like weird things like, oh, well, should I swap out these boots for vitality boots? Or, I mean, I can't sit here and answer every single item question. I've had people just constantly like, what is this worth? Should I sell this on the auction house? Should I buy this on the auction house? Just, I mean, I don't want to be like an asshole or anything, but just if you're gonna friend me, keep those kind of questions to a minimum, because yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get the same thing. I have people asking me. I mean, I have no problem looking at your stuff, and if you say, what upgrade would be the best thing for me to get, I have no problem telling you what the best upgrade is. But I'm not, it's hard for us to basically answer 50 people all asking that same question every time of day.
Yeah.
So if I have time to help you and I'm not doing other stuff, and you haven't asked 50 questions already, I'm glad to help.
Basically, I'm just not